So with the NFL draft coming up, there are a lot of rumors going around, and of course you guys know it's also mock draft time. Everybody's coming out with a mock draft. Everybody's saying who's going to select who, what's going to happen on Thursday. And, well, I tend to be part of that everybody. I am a massive NFL fan, and I'm very happy to give you guys my mock draft, only including the top 10 picks of the draft, because let's face it, nobody cares about who's selected at 28 or 32 and who the Chiefs are going to select and just place it in a wide receiver spot to try and become the next super speedy wide receiver. Like you guys get the idea. People care about these guys in the top 10. But of course, before I get into this very intriguing video, make sure to like, subscribe, turn on the notification bell, guys. Help me out a little bit. And without further ado, let's get right into this video. Now, starting off with number one, we have the Carolina Panthers. Of course, these guys traded up in a trade with Chicago in which they gave DJ Moore over to Chicago for this first overall pick, basically. That's all that's important to discuss as of right now. I think the Carolina Panthers are going to select Bryce Young. The guy is the best quarterback in this draft. The Panthers need somebody to build around. And the only concern about Bryce Young is really his size. He's not the prototypical quarterback size. The dude may be just barely 6 feet. Like, there are some rumors out there that are saying that Bryce Young is as small as 5'9". But the bottom line is, he's an amazing quarterback. He competed at the highest level. He ended up taking his team to a national championship. While he didn't win, he did take them there. He really operated with amazing talent and amazing coaching. And he also showed that he is one of the smartest quarterbacks in the draft. He scored like a 98 on his IQ test in the NFL draft process. That is incredible. Just for scale, other quarterbacks, the second quarterback, I think it was Will Levis. Will Levis scored a 93. So Bryce Young was far and away the best quarterback for processing and the best quarterback for overall smart and whiz of the game. And for a young quarterback to have that is very, very, very rare and very vital. I think the Panthers select their guy Bryce Young and build around him. And now, of course, going to the second overall pick, the Houston Texans, a lot of guys think the Panthers might actually take this dude number one, Anthony Richardson. I think this is a Texans type pick. Anthony Richardson has a super high ceiling, although I do think he needs to sit for a season. I think they're going to have to say, all right, Anthony Richardson, super talented, but you got to sit down and learn the game a little bit. And I would not be mad at that if I was Anthony Richardson or the Houston Texans organization or fans at all. Richardson, when it comes to raw talent, is the most talented quarterback in this entire draft, and I have no doubt about that. I'm saying this as a Georgia fan. I can respect the fact that Anthony Richardson is amazing when it comes to what he does on the field. He's fast. He's huge. He's got the quarterback size, the quarterback arm. There is nothing deterring Anthony Richardson from becoming a superstar other than the mechanics of the game, the accuracy, the IQ. If he gets great coaching, the Texans are not going to regret this pick. I think they're going to select Anthony Richardson with their second overall pick. Now moving on to the third overall pick, the Arizona Cardinals are going to select Will Anderson. Now the Cardinals had a terrible season this year. Their quarterback, Kyler Murray, ended up getting injured. They didn't have too great of a year on the defensive side or offensive side of the ball. I mean, they have the third overall pick. Obviously, they didn't have too great of a year. But I think the Cardinals need to replace that pass rush. Ever since Chandler Jones has left, that defense has taken a massive step back. The guy they're going to select is Will Anderson. Will Anderson is the best pass rusher in this entire draft. He's a straight-up beast. He's got the counting numbers. He went to the University of Alabama and competed with the best of the best. He's an instant difference maker, possibly in this defense. I think Will Anderson is the guy for the Cardinals, and I believe the Cardinals are going to make that selection. Now, going to number 4, we have the Indianapolis Colts. I believe they're going to select Will Levis. Will Levis has the best arm talent in this entire draft. His arm strength is out through the roof. And the Indianapolis Colts have a great history of raising raw talent at quarterbacks. Think of Peyton Manning. Think of Andrew Luck. Those are just two guys who came out of college with raw talent, who the coach raised and built in the stars, and they ended up being superstars in the league. One guy, Peyton Manning, ended up being one of the best, if not the best quarterback to ever grace this planet. This team has a history of turning quarterbacks into difference makers and turning them into amazing, amazing players. And of course, Will Levis can learn from some guys, most notably being Nick Foles, who did win the Super Bowl with the Philadelphia Eagles a couple years back. I think the Colts make this pick, and I believe it just makes sense for Indianapolis to go with a quarterback with a high ceiling, such as Will Levis. Now going to number 5, we've got the Seattle Seahawks. Now the Seahawks honestly should not be here. They traded their franchise superstar quarterback, Russell Wilson, to the Broncos, which essentially got them this pick because the Broncos were bone bad bum terrible this year. I'm just going to be honest. But the Seahawks, they're going to go with the best player available on the board here. And the best player for them, in my opinion, is Tyree Wilson. This team needs a pass rusher desperately. And Tyree Wilson, when it comes to the defensive side of the ball, is probably the most raw prospect and has the highest ceiling in the draft. Now let me tell you about the concerns. His foot injury, definite concern. Could it impact him for the rest of his career? Yeah, it certainly can. But when this guy's on the field, he is dominant. He is a difference maker. And that is what Seattle needs on the defensive side of the ball right now. Now also, do not be surprised if Seattle says, you know what? We're going to trade this pick. We're going to give this pick to somebody else and we're going to get someone in return. I would not be surprised if the Seahawks do that. But I don't think they're going to do that. I think Seattle is going to go with the best player available in Tyree Wilson. Now, going to number 6, we have the Detroit Lions, Detroit football. Now, you guys all remember Ndamukong Suh, a guy who was dominant on the inside, but also had character flaws and character issues, or at least was rumored to have character flaws and character issues, and a major temper. That reminds me of somebody. You know where I'm going here. Another guy who made some unfortunate mistakes. Of course, prayers up to everybody who was involved. But Jalen Carter, and I mean no disrespect to Jalen Carter when I compare him to Ndamukong Suh. As a matter of fact, I mean respect. This guy can be the most dominant force in the interior defensive line in the entire league. If this dude gets the right coaching, and if this guy keeps his act together, keeps things in check, then teams are going to beat themselves for passing up on this guy in the NFL draft. I promise you, if this guy gets the right coaching and keeps things together, oh my goodness, teams are going to absolutely slam their heads on desks for what this guy is going to do in the league. He's going to rain havoc across the NFC North over the next couple of years if this guy can get the right coaching and if he can keep things in check when it comes to his character. Of course, no disrespect, and prayers up to everybody who was involved in that incident at the University of Georgia. Prayers up to all families and all coaches. But moving on to number 7, the Raiders, they desperately need some playmakers on the defensive side of the ball, most notably being a cornerback who can cover the back end. Why not draft the most athletic corner in the draft, Christian Gonzalez? Christian Gonzalez is amazing. I have seen this guy play, and anybody who goes to Oregon is super fast and athletic, right? I mean, let's just be honest here. If this guy can stay healthy and consistent, he will become one of the greatest cornerbacks in the league. That's been the only problem. His health hasn't been too great, and his consistency has kind of lacked as a result of that. I won't say bad health, because the guy's an NFL player at the end of the day. Let's just be honest. But I'll say questionable health when it comes to in relation to getting injured. I'll say something like that. Bottom line is that if this dude can stay healthy, he can stay responsible, then this dude is going to be a great pick for the Las Vegas Raiders. I still have to get used to saying that. I want to say Oakland so bad because I grew up in the Raiders were in the Oakland Raiders, but now they're the Vegas Raiders. I gotta get used to saying it, guys. So I'm sorry for my lack of context there. But the Raiders, once again, amazing pick, and I think they're definitely going to select this cornerback with their pick right here. Now, of course, moving on to number 8, we have everyone's favorite team who watches this channel, the Atlanta Falcons. Now, I think the Falcons are going to select UGA man Nolan Smith. The Falcons fans and fan base, everybody, they know how badly we need a pass rush. Nolan Smith is not only a leader, but he is raw talent. The guy is incredible. He's versatile on the defensive side, and he runs a 4-4. He can be an outside linebacker or defensive end and can run in the 3-4 or 4-3 techniques. Nolan Smith is an amazing pick for the Falcons. While he did not pick up the counting stats in college, just the overall athleticism, just the possibility, I'll call it the potential for this guy to be an amazing player is right there. I believe that Nolan Smith can be one of the best pass rushers in the league in a very, very short time, and I think the Falcons should definitely select him with this 8th pick in the draft. Now, of course, going to number 9, the Chicago Bears. I believe they are going to select Peter Skoronski. Now, the Bears had 2 goals in the offseason. You get Justin Fields some protection, and you get Justin Fields some receivers. They got DJ Moore. That's how the Panthers ended up getting the 1st overall pick. Now you got to go get yourself a tackle, and I believe Peter is the start to what can be an amazing, amazing turnaround for a Chicago Bears franchise who hasn't won much of anything in a long time. The Bears need pass protecting, and they are out here accomplishing that mission in the draft. I think Peter is going to go to the Bears, and I believe they will not regret that pick in the long term because Peter is one of the best offensive tackle prospects in the draft so far, and I really, really, really am confident the Chicago Bears are going to get the most out of him, and they're going to try their best to keep surrounding their at least somewhat decent quarterback in Justin Fields. They're going to try their best to surround him with talent, see what he can really do. Now, going to number 10, our final pick of the video, we have got the Philadelphia Eagles. Now, the Eagles are coming off the Super Bowl, so it's kind of ironic that we are talking about them right now, but they did lose a vital piece to their core, and that guy's name was Miles Sanders. So, everyone's going to ask, well, Micah, what do? Well, they go out and get the best running back in the draft, Bijan Robinson. Now, a lot of people are coming out and saying that Robinson, when it comes to college and potential, he may be a tier below Saquon and Leonard Fournette. But when it comes to super talent and all-out, all-around production, I think the dude actually might be equal to those two. This guy is a dual threat. He can receive and he can run. He's great downhill. He can get a little twitchy, but he can also run you over. He is the perfect running back for the Philadelphia Eagles. He's going behind the best offensive line in the league. He's going behind a quarterback who just led a team to a Super Bowl berth and near victory. This is the perfect situation for a running back such like Bijan Robinson. I believe the Philadelphia Eagles are going to be amazing next year, and Bijan Robinson is definitely going to be able to add to that positive upturn in Philadelphia stock over the next couple of seasons. But, of course, that's going to end this video. Thank you for watching. Make sure to like, subscribe, turn on the notification bell, guys. Help me out a little bit. Of course, I'm going to do a couple other videos. I might do Atlanta Falcons, a little mock draft, or I think I'm going to do a reaction to who Atlanta picks, to be honest with you, because it's just hard to cramp in all these draft videos at the same time. But the bottom line is that I thank you guys for watching. If you made it through the whole video, I really, really thank you. If you are on YouTube, you know how important it is for you guys to watch the whole video. So I really thank you for that. But of course, I wish you nothing but the best. Stay love, stay blessed. And without further ado, I'm going to end this video. Thank you for watching.